This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, we're going to continue the same old as the broken record forecast continues. Temperatures fall through the 80s and eventually the 70s and down into the 60s as we get towards sunrise. Not much changing here as our heat wave's going to continue. Only isolated storms are expected. We're going to see areas of smoke and haze at times as well. And this is probably the big headline here. No real deviations from this forecast until maybe August. Yeah, it's going to be a prolonged period of temps here in the 90s. 91 is our normal high, so we're not talking a heat wave crazy heat wave, but a lot of these days out there in the 90s, which just feel nice and hot this time of year. And unfortunately, we're going to continue to dwindle some of our precip here across the region. 90s are entrenched in our area, cooler 80s off to the east. Hottest temps still up to the north of us. 85 right now in Mullen. It's 91 in Oshkosh. There's a 95 in Scottsbluff, 96 in Chandra, 95 over in Torrington. Winds have been pretty active today out of the south-southeast, 10 to 15, even up to 20 miles an hour at times. That hasn't really helped cool anything down because it's so hot, but we certainly do have some gusty breezes at times. Severe weather threat confined off to the north of us. Not here in our area today, tomorrow, and on into Thursday. It is dry and quiet with nothing really going on here in our area. Any thunderstorms should remain confined to the high country. They'll try to make their way off, and they just won't have any luck doing it tonight. More clouds across the area tonight. We're going to see a fair amount of those. Temperatures overnight going to fall down into the 60s. That's it. Some areas may struggle to even get into the 60s. We have a 72 tonight on the board at Chadron. Tomorrow we filter some of these clouds out. We'll average the day out partly cloudy. Here come your afternoon storms, build up in the high country, and then they just have a hard time pushing out to the east. You may see one or two short-lived thunderstorms that try to push off the high country, and that's about it. We're going to bake tomorrow in the 90s here, closing in on 100, and we're going to stay in that ballpark for the next several days. We'll be in the 90s for the foreseeable future. Precip going to be fairly light, in fact, if any out there. A couple of areas maybe picking up 100th. That is about it. It's isolated thunderstorms at best. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, 68 for a low. We're going to be clearer tomorrow and not as windy. Winds at about 5 to 10. Areas of smoke and haze going to be around as well. We'll be closing in on 100, and we may get there again on Thursday near 100. I suppose the weekend you could call that slightly cooler with low 90s. Right back into the upper 90s, though, Monday, Tuesday of next week, as we have very little going on out here that's going to help us cool things down over the next 7 days.